Pisces. We in the building, but first I want to give a shout out to all my fellow Pisceans out there. Gang, you already know. We in the building. Also want to give a shout out to all my 2 2s and my 3 3s and my 2 2 2s and my 3 3 3s and my 7 7 7s, and shout out to any other angelical numerical numbers that I may have forgot to mention. I also want to thank everybody for coming out to support the channel. Thank you. And those of you that are new, welcome to the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell notification to be notified of my upcoming videos and content. And we're going to jump right in. So today's live video is going to be about the 20 reasons why men hate astrology. See, when it comes to astrology, it calls out the ego. See, so this automatically is going to expose the patterns within your behavior. And when it comes to astrology and it calling out your ego, it also calls out your control issues, your emotional immaturities. And see, these are the things that men hate the most because they don't like seeing themselves. Because really, when you really think about it, when men get up in the morning and get dressed, how in the mirror? Females like to stay in the mirror because they have to look at themselves. They dress for the day, they put their makeup on, they do their hair. But a man is different. He's not the type of typical person that wants to look in the mirror and see himself. He might just wake up, brush his hair, brush his teeth, and wash his face, put on his clothes for the day, and head out to work or wherever. So men in general hate to look at themselves. So in this aspect, according to astrology, it's the same thing. Now, another thing is the fact they feel judged instantly by astrology. You can ask a grown man his sign, and I guarantee you he'll get defensive. Well, I don't believe in that. What does that mean? What does that have to do with me? See how a man would get very offended by you simply asking his sign. Now, so funny is that men oftentimes, they don't believe in any of this, right? But it's sure as funny as why would you get defensive for someone simply asking you your zodiac sign? You know, I'm gonna tell you one thing that's very strange is that people will debate about superficial topics, the news, anything that's going on in the world today, sports, entertainment, and they're willing to sit there and go back and forth in an emotional exchange about why they like their favorite player. But when it comes to astrology, they don't want to know their sign because they don't want to talk about it. They don't even want to share anything about themselves. So that's why, that's one of the reasons why. Number two is the fact, like I said, they feel judged instantly. See, they think that women use astrology. Like for me, even having this channel, I've been laughed at, made fun of, flamed, in other words. People basically saying, hey, I never seen a guy do anything related to astrology. I never seen a guy talk about signs. Because people, they think it's receptive. They think it's feminine energy. And that's not the case. I mean, yes, when it comes to weathermen and channels, you know, the news channels, there's men and women that do that. And hey, yeah, it may feel different on the receiving end when you're dealing with a male weatherman or a female weatherman or newscaster. Now, welcome everybody. You said, I mean, I understand. I see what you, yeah, love from India. What's going on? Rami, I hope I'm saying your name right. Welcome. Galom said, another question said, why bums are so attractive to women? Women love them, especially bums with no money, no job, no house. I mean, the thing about it is, when I say in a reference to that, I would say a woman would choose a bum because it's less competition of her having to, you know, fight for his attention, or, you know, let's say you guys go hang out together She's probably insecure about the fact that women will be trying to talk to you, and she might not want any of that, so she may pick someone that's less attractive. Remember that it's not always about you being a bum or him being a bum. It has to do with how do you make her look in public. See, if you look like Genuine or R. Kelly or Trey Songz, she might not feel comfortable going out with you, okay? Because she knows that women are going to be trying to holler at you, look at you while you guys are having a dinner date, and that might make her feel some type of way. So she may choose someone less attractive because it lowers the competition. See? Now, that's just my spiel on it. But I used to think that too when I was in high school. I used to always say, wow, why do these beautiful women always pick these frogs? And I'm like, what's going on? It must be the fact that maybe he has money. But it's simply because of that, the whole competition. That's why. See, because that's the thing. When a woman wants to be the only one seen for her beauty and her, her intelligence, she doesn't want to be competing with her man for that attention. Let's see. Galon says, so what's more useful, game or money? I would say game. Game is more useful because money, like I said, I said this yesterday in the live, that money is basically water. See, it's the flow of currency. You have to have it in order to survive. But game is like everything up here. Every game is what you know, but you got to know how to use it. See, that's just like if you were to invest, you have to know how to invest correctly. And that's the thing. It's not that people are out here, doing things in regards to them not being able to have things such as a house, taking care of themselves. It's all about how you manage your money, your choices, and what to do. A lot of people don't know how to save their money. Okay, what's the problem, Saman? Is it Saman Ray? What's the problem? Let me know. Yeah, it could be red pill, but the funny thing is that everybody starts off somewhere, and all of us have been blue pill at one point in time. We all have went through a phase of being a beta male, and it's only in those moments where you learn from your mistakes, and then you become red pill. But it's like either way. Okay, I'll put it to you like this. When you compare a beta male versus an alpha male, people oftentimes they look at a beta male as being just completely weak. See, but you have to embrace both. See, because it has to be a balance. You can't just be fully alpha male. You can't just do it like that, because you're gonna be tested in trying times. And I'm telling you, that beta male within you is going to show, because we all have vulnerabilities. We all have masks. It's all about impressions. And you may be strong in the most situations, but there's going to be a temptation that's going to bring the beta male out of you. It could be a beautiful woman just starts talking to you and just all over you. And next thing you know, you're just like, you're getting tender. See, you're getting weak because you feel like, oh, this woman is so beautiful that, hey, I don't think I ever meet someone like this or look like this. And then all of a sudden you start to become too nice. See how your alpha, you basically trying to carry on this masculine energy. It starts to lose its grip and its focus, because now the very thing that you want, but because it makes you nervous, you start to become weak. You start to become too nice. And then that's when you get used. See, Because now when you're being nice, you don't have to. See, you don't have to be nice. It doesn't mean you have to be a hole either. It just means that you still have to be stoic and still hold your frame as a man. But sometimes when you see something that challenges you in that area of who you are, some people give up their manhood. Some people give up that strength because now it's like, oh, I'll bend for this one. See, that's the thing. And some people bend for different situations for certain reasons. You're a boss at work. Yeah, you're masculine when it comes to dating, and you're an alpha male around the women, but you could be a meat rider at work. See, you could be kissing the boss's behind at work because you're not going to be perfect, and you're not going to be the type of person that does everything right. There's flaws in all of us, and there's no way for a person to continuously be alpha male 24/7. No. You know what's crazy is that a person can have a low libido, or let's look at a beta male could have high libido. See, he could be alpha when it comes to clapping those cheeks, but he might have a personality of a beta male. See, vice versa. It might be an alpha male that appears, strong, muscular, deep voiced, and hey, he might be assertive, and hey, he might lead, but then he might have low libidos. He can't perform in the bedroom. See, so that's why I said, like, which one do you put it like this? Which one would you rather have? Low libido and have the alpha male image, strong, bold, and just, hey, basically you lead the situation. And when you're courting a woman, or would you rather, hey, if you're a beta male, hey, you come across as being beta, but then you can clap those cheeks and hey, she can get her rocks off. What would you rather have that? See, what's crazy is that I'll say this. I don't consider myself beta, and I don't consider myself alpha. I consider myself a human being, and hey, I make mistakes just as well as anyone else. I don't put these little titles and all these little ego-driven words behind my name and who I am, because none of this stuff defines me, okay? Now, what I will say is that some women they will look at me and say, oh, I don't like this guy. But then once we sleep together, it's like their whole vision of who I am changes. Because I'm the type of person, I clap them cheeks. See, I clap them cheeks. And hey, you can look on my outside appearance and then, hey, that don't mean nothing. See? That don't mean nothing, because hey, I'm gonna clap them cheeks, and then she's gonna respect me off of me clapping them cheeks. Put it like that. Enough said, because some women, that's all they want anyway. That's why a woman would pick I ain't gonna say that, because it ain't no disrespect when I say, hey, she would pick the frog over Prince Charming, because the frog might be able to, he might have a good stroke. It is what it is. Just like golf, you have, Tiger Woods, you just have a good stroke. And hey, maybe Prince Charming he just can't play golf. He sucks. Maybe they just, out of every time that he done swung, it ain't hitting right. Now, I would say, let me see here. And I ain't gonna lie, like, I disagree with, like, I've watched a lot of different alpha male videos. And some of these guys, they try to act like they got it all figured out. Oh, this is why she's treating you like this. Man, listen, there's a different, we got a category. Okay, we got to categorize this now. Every woman is different. We know that. There's a reason why you only attract a certain type of woman. Maybe you're looking for a particular type of woman that has an ego. See, that ain't got nothing to do with being alpha or beta. It has more to do with, hey, maybe she's been the one, let's say she's the breadwinner. Maybe she's in a masculine, in her masculine frame because the man is not pulling his weight. See, some people, a man could be alpha and still not pull his weight. See, that's why I say you're gonna lack somewhere. So if you look at being beta as a weakness, you're going to end up slipping up. You're going to end up being weak somewhere. See, whether finances, whether it be, like I say, low libido, whether it be in your communication skills, you just not being able to understand your woman emotionally. See, I noticed that when you speak to a woman, you understand her, the whole relationship changes. See, that skill in itself is empathy. See, you can't learn that. Nobody can teach you and say, hey, you don't learn that in school. Hey, how to empathize. See, a woman is like an instrument. So if you play the trumpet, you can't just pick the trumpet up and just start playing it. You got to learn how to play it. You got to learn how to use it. You got to learn what buttons to push and you got to learn what buttons to push to make it sound good. You got to know how to do it. So if you're able to empathize with her, you're going to be able to play that trumpet real good. You're going to know how to play it well. See, you're going to know how to use it correctly. But when you with a woman, you got to know how to talk to her, because listen, if you have no communication skills, no emotional intelligence, it's not going to work whether you're alpha or beta. Why do you think a woman has a side dude? And even if he's the rebound, hey, he's still gonna score. See? He's still gonna score because that is an emotional safety net for her. See? So when her man, her alpha man, or whoever you want to call it, is not acting right, she's gonna go cheat with the side dude, because that's who she exchanges her emotions with, that understands her, where she's coming from. See? And also, it's like when I say a safety net, because her ego may be bruised, and then she goes to the side dude. He uplifts her back up. See? Reminds her who she is. That's why that side dude, he never disappears. Some may say his name is Dirty Dick Tyrone, and you wonder why he has that name. Because he ain't shit. All he do is clap them cheeks, and that's it. And he may talk a good game, and hey, may make her feel good in a moment, and that's all she wants him for. But don't think for 1 second that you're controlling that situation, because you're not. That woman allows you to talk to her that way because put it like this, whoever you surround yourself with, even if their behavior is one way or another, if you tolerate it, hey, that means you agree with it. You agree to it. Because nobody will have anybody around them that they do not want around them. So how can you say, oh, I'm alpha control the situation? No, you don't. It's an illusion. You can live your life with that facade thinking you're a player, or hey, you're running things, you're alpha. It's a facade. See? The illusion is that, hey, you're trying to make it seem like you're this tough guy. But then as soon as, I would tell you this, put an alpha male before Beyonce. Or somebody that's of maybe a big figure in life, celebrity, status, body, hey, put it before a celebrity. Next thing you know, where is all that alpha male energy? Where is it? Because a lot of guys, they get tender, they get emotional. When they get something that they know that they shouldn't have, they don't deserve, because that woman is out of their league, all that alpha male bullcrap goes out the window. See? And that's why a lot of dudes, they will let that type of woman run the show. Because it's like, oh, it's more about losing them than the other way around. So you got some guys, they end up acting feminine, they end up acting beta because now they are with somebody that they don't even see. They know one thing. They know that that woman just might leave them. See, that's crazy. Why would you get with a woman that you know it has is capable of leaving you? Why? But why would you think she'll leave you? See, alpha man is they okay. An alpha man thinks in abundant. They have an abundance of a mindset. They know that it's more out there, so they're not gonna simp and they're not going to cave in and become tender all of a sudden, just because you got a badunkadunk, just because you got hips or you got like Megan. They're not gonna be moved by that. To the topic. So when it comes to men hate astrology, is the fact, see, they think women use astrology to decide if he's worth it. It's cold-blooded, see? And see, it's before he even speaks. He's already thinking that. So that's why if you ask your man, hey, what's his sign? And you guys get into discussion about, hey, the whole astrology aspect, you wonder why he starts acting nervous. You wonder why he cuts the conversation short. He might even say, hey, that's bullshit. But he knows there's some truth to it. He just doesn't want you to figure him out. Now, another thing is that it challenges a man's logic. See, number 3 is the fact that, men, they're raised to believe that only what they can see or measure, see, or touch. So what does astrology do? It forces them to what? Think beyond the facts, into feelings and faith, because that's the one thing. People do not like to be exposed for who they truly are. Now, another thing is and this is a big one. Number 4 is the fact that they fear losing control. See, if you know someone for who they truly are, it's nothing they can do to keep anything together. Like, they can't force it. They lose control. See, they have that fear in itself. So the idea that their destiny might be written in the stars clashes in that very moment. Because what? It's all about their need to feel in charge. They want to feel in charge. And that's like, that's how, like, I'll say this. You could go ask someone right now, go ask a man and ask them what their zodiac sign is. I've seen people say, I don't believe in that. They'll say, I don't believe in that, right? But tables turn and the dynamics change. When they are interested in a woman, they will ask the very thing that they said to another man or another woman what their zodiac sign is. So they'll say, hey, miss, how you looking there? Oh, you looking good today. What's your name? Oh, yeah, my name is Brandon. Oh, I'm Billy Bob. Oh, by the way, what's your sign? Because they're very, they have high interest. So they'll ask the question because they want to figure out their woman. And some may use it to what? Break the ice. And see, when it comes to that, you notice when someone says, oh, I'm a Pisces, they take a deep breath. Oh my God, Pisces, no, not a Pisces, no. And it's like, you hear their sign, they say Sagittarius, and you just like, wow, okay. Wow, well, that's unfortunate, but it's like, you might know good and hell well that you don't want to deal with another Sag. So it gives you that certainty that I might not just, hey, after me looking at you, hey, that's why I said the eyes can deceive you, because now that you know their sign, now you don't even want to talk to them because you know you don't want to deal with that sign, and vice versa. No matter, it's almost like a person doesn't even have a chance anymore. Once you know their sign, it's almost like you want to run from that conversation. When you're a man, you're like, hey, Hey, you might even saying that's bullshit. Hey, I don't want to talk about that. Not right now, because that's gonna take the control away. See, once you know my sign, now I don't have a chance. So it's like you can really just, stop talking to me instantly because I've given my sign up. See, now, and why I'm saying this, because it doesn't matter. See, it doesn't matter. You can be you if you avoid the question of what your sign is, she still might not talk to you. See, or want to talk to you, because then she's gonna think that you're hiding something. So don't try to run from the question. Next time a woman said, "Hey, what's your zodiac sign?" You're a man, and hey, you could either, like I said, you could stall her. Hey, you don't have to answer right away, but you can stall her and say, "Hey, why do you want to know my sign? What's your sign?" And spin it off and just have her do all the talking to avoid giving up your sign as sort of a distraction. But I'm gonna tell you, and it's almost like you could get rejected because your sign. Once somebody finds your sign out, it's like you could feel rejected. Because I'm not gonna lie, I tried to talk to plenty of women out there in the mall, in the grocery stores, and I say, "Miss, we talk about the signs. What's your zodiac sign?" Next thing you know, as soon as I reveal mine, it's almost like an invisible deflation of just air just leaves the room, and it kills the vibe. And it's like, oh, damn, I shouldn't have even said I was a Pisces, because now this woman just walked away from me like I was a monster or something. Like she didn't see, oh, she just heard Pisces and was like, run. See? So sometimes that would happen. But think about it. If a person would run just because you said you were a Pisces, look at the energy and power behind you just saying, "Hey, I'm a Pisces," and a person just, "Oh my God, I gotta go." They were never meant for you. So that was actually a blessing. That person, hey, probably would have wasted your time. See, so what I'm saying, there's a win-win. See, you get a W, she gets a W, because you're not wasting your time and energy on someone. And she's already confirming that she doesn't want a Pisces around. She doesn't want to be with a Pisces. Yeah, I feel like the same thing, like Ellie. Yeah, it's a lot of people that can become addicted to Pisces. It's because of the way that a Pisces make you feel. But just as you will be addicted to a Pisces, you could also feel you could also hate a Pisces. See, because it's never gonna be a full situation where people fully like you. They might like you just as much as they hate you. See, and that's why the people don't like Pisces, because they would rather have it one way than to have it both ways. Because when people think about you, they might say, "Oh, this person is a good person," because because a Pisces empathize with them, and they like that part of a Pisces or that side. But they may not like your sternness. They may not like your boldness. They may not like certain things that you say because of your intuition. See, just like I had a conversation with a Libra last night, and I had a Leo friend, and the Leo's friend was a Gemini. See, Gemini to a Pisces is your hidden adversary. That's your hidden enemy. So they're not always good. They're not always going to show you their cards up front. Later on, you find out that Gemini had it out for you. Now, that's both man and female. Now, the Leo, he seemed cool, but only when he wanted something from you. See? So I felt that he was just trying to use me and take advantage. Now, I cut both of them out. I said, "Hey, y'all gotta, hey, y'all can't stay here. Y'all can't live with me anymore. You guys gotta move out." And they didn't like it. And he said, "Hey, well, hey, can I get my stuff?" I said, "Well, I'm not off work yet." I said, "But hey, you guys gotta go." Because the Leo kept asking me for stuff every day. He wanted me, hey, can you get this for me? Can you do this? Hey, can you give me a ride? Just stuff, just every day asking me for stuff. And it's annoying. Now, I talked to one of my Libra friends, and he's like, yo, he said, why did you kick them out? I said, no. Stop, Libra. Stop playing both sides. See, because Libras can be messy. Well, sometimes in the midst of chaos, and let's say, just like Jerry Springer, just like hey, you got a beef with somebody, you share that story with a Libra. Sometimes a Libra will be diplomatic about their approach with you concerning the stories you tell them. So they may use your story against you and say it's your fault. Say it's you the one that's starting everything. So he's like, yo, he's not agreeing with me. He's like, well, you shouldn't even let them, you shouldn't let them stay with you in the first place. Well, hey, you knew they were asking for things. You should have said no. And I'm like, dude. And after hearing all his vices of him being on him being addicted to perks and him doing all these things, not once did I judge him and say, oh yeah, man, maybe you should have just said no. See, I didn't come at him like he can't. And the thing about it is, when a Pisces tries to get understanding, sometimes this is why Pisces, you cannot go to someone else and try to get them to sympathize with you on anything related to your intuition. Your intuition shows you what's going on. It's not for everybody else's. Hey, it's not about anyone else. It's for you. That's your intuition. See, it applies to you, not them. So when you go and try to, vent to someone regarding it being a friend, a loved one, or associate, don't expect them to feel how you would feel hearing someone's unfortunate story, see, or situation. Because a lot of times how you would do people, you have to stop thinking everybody's like you. Because what I sense with the Libra, he started saying that, hey, the people staying with you, the Leo and Gemini, he's like, yo, you shouldn't even have let them stay with you in the first place. I said, well, hey, they had money, they paid to stay with me. So hey, cool. I said, I known them for a long time. So it wasn't in the way that the Libra's trying to say it. That's not how it went. But I didn't argue with him. I said, you know what? I'm gonna match his energy. I said, well, hey, but I could say the same thing about you with those perks and the Zans that you be popping. You could have told the pharmacist no. You could have told the pharmacist no. But hey, you wanted it, and then you end up getting what? Addicted to it. He's like, oh, but we ain't talking about me. We talking about your situation. I'm saying, I can say the same thing. So there's no argument. You can't use my own story against me, in other words. So in other words, I just told him like, well, hey, I know next time, but the whole fact of the matter is, I don't want nobody staying with me, because then people start thinking that they running your house. See, especially when you're dealing with masculine fire signs such as Leo, and then what? You got the Gemini. See, you got the trickster in the trick bag that can shapeshift at any given time. Now, when I began to notice the Gemini, he was just doing it's the vibe. Mind you, I have Scorpio rising, so when we as Scorpio risers, when we feel a vibe is off, we instantly probe towards it, and we end up executing the whole situation. Some people say, oh, strike and then think later. No, we strike and then it's over with, because we sense that it's something underneath the whole mask and the ulterior motive. We sense that something is coming, and we need to protect ourselves from it. So that's why I ended up telling you know what? Now it's so funny, because I told this situation what happened to someone, and they said, you just like a Pisces. I said, why? They said, because you just woke up out of nowhere You did so fast in a minute of how you just, because I just kicked them out. It was no forewarning. I just woke up and then they were just sitting there in the living room watching TV, and it just snapped in my mind to kick them out. A Pisces would do that. That's why they was like, dude, you crazy. You just kicked them out, and those are your friends. You just kicked them out just like that. Just because your intuition showed you something, you just, hey, you know, and I understand it sounds funny. It sounds funny to some people. Like, even the Libra, he was laughing about it. He's like, bro, you guys were just watching TV and you just told them to get the fuck out. I said, yeah. I said, because this is my house. They were like, bro, man. The cycle ends as soon as a Pisces says, man, I'm done with this. As soon as I see these two individuals, hey, soon as the two people are around me, they are done. They're getting out. So I was just watching TV along with them, and they were just talking and laughing about something. And inside of me, I felt like, oh, you know, when your intuition is showing you what someone's secret motives and intentions are, because this guy, the Leo, he owed me money. But you're in my living room watching TV, got your feet kicked up, laughing and giggling, and you're talking to the Gemini dude as if you don't owe me any money. You ain't even make arrangements and tell me when you're gonna pay me. So that was something that was already brewing. And then the Gemini dude, he's doing all kind of little things around the house, like not picking up behind himself, leaving cups and plates and all kind of stuff laying around. I've already told him 3 times, pick up behind yourself. Throw that dish in the garbage when you're done with it. And he always is, oh, I got you, bro. I got you. Oh, yeah, okay. And he doesn't do it. So me sitting down watching TV with them, and he's just, you know, drinking along and talking and laughing. I was like, you know what? Show's over. Get the F out. I told him the game over, man. Game over. Get out. And they were just looking like, they were just standing there in shock, like the world, the time of the world just stopped for a minute. There was like 3-4 minutes of just silence, like you know how you're waiting in line and then the cashier is just ringing all your stuff up and they're just scanning everything and they're putting it in a bag. That moment of silence is for those 5 minutes is like, it took time for that, to what I said to register. See, the first thing was the Leo tried to say, oh, he said, hey man, you're doing too much. I said, bro, this is my house. If I say get out, get the fuck out, man. You owe me money, dude. This is not a game. See, I'm not on your time. This is my shit. Get the F out. And that's how I did it. And he was just like, bro, come on, bro. I don't even have nowhere to go. I said, bro, you think that see, what a Pisces hate is that if I loan you money, I need my ish back the same way I gave it to you. We ain't doing no nickel and diamond. Oh, let me give you $20 here. And you trying to do it all slow and I'm not a bank. I'm not your little bro, man, that whoever you think that you just pay. Hey, I want my money just as like I gave it to you. If I gave you $400, I want my $400. I don't want no $20 here and $30 here. And when I get my check and when I get my taxes and when my college, when I get the money from my college, hey, no. Because I know one thing for certain is that I remember a Scorpio, he scammed a Libra in such a way that he told that he owed this dude thousands of dollars from back rent. He owed him, right? You know what the Scorpio told this? He was dangling this carrot the whole time. He tells the Libra, I'm gonna pay your money, man. I'm supposed to get a big check he said, from my taxes. I'm still waiting on my check, my big check from my taxes. This man bought so many months with that lie. And then right when he moved out, he didn't get that check. It was all a made up lie. See, he was never getting a check. But the Libra fell for it. See, because that was his boy. See, so that's why I tell you, like, some people, They say they're gonna pay you back with the intentions of not paying you at all. See that? So that's how I know when you you put your foot down, say everybody get out. All I did was just strike first. There ain't nothing to talk about. See, now going back to why do men hate astrology is the fact that it threatens their masculine identity. See, and why is this? Because remember I said that astrology, it feels soft. Most women do astrology, and it may correlate or be, relatable to feminine energy. And some men were what? They were taught to reject it. See, it's so crazy. I'll tell you this. People have ass backwards mentalities and opinions. We're all entitled to our opinions some way, somehow, right? But why would you... I would say this. Why would you try crack before you give your sign up? See, when someone asks for it. Some people will really take a hit of something that's laced, not even knowing what's in it. You trust your little plug. You trust your plug. But then when someone says, "Hey man, what's your sign?" "Oh, I don't believe in that. I don't do that shit." Oh, but you'll go to the dope man and try some crack and not even know what's in it. For all you know, it might be fentanyl. See? That seems cool and masculine to be like, "Oh yeah, let's go smoke." But then, "Hey, what's your sign?" "Oh man, no, I don't do that. That is, man, I ain't with that bull ass, man." And then see what happens is you end up, someone told you, "Hey, leave that ish alone." See, so you reject that part of yourself when you do that. Now, the next thing is the fact that they don't understand it. Most men like to be smart or intelligent. This is a challenge for them because if you know more about it, what do men hate the most? To not know at all. See, to not know. See, this the funny thing is that a man wants to be so dominant in a situation and know everything. So if you come with something that they don't understand, they will start to make fun of it because they don't understand it. And they don't want to look like a dumbass about it. See, as you're discussing it and they have no idea, they hate to be in that moment. See, because of pride. Now, when something confuses a man, they will use what? Humor or sarcasm, because it's a shield. See, they're using that shield because they don't want to appear dumb. You notice even outside of this topic, many men do this. They make fun of things to shield their ego because, "Oh, I don't know anything about this." I was having a conversation with a mechanic about how to do an oil change. I had already been researching and studying it before I even started talking to him. So it came across, "Hey, hi." I said, "Hey man," I said, "You did that oil. You always do my oil changes pretty quick." I said, "Is it really that easy?" And he was like, "Yeah, man." He said, "Yeah, it's very easy." He said, "Just a lot of people just don't know how to do it." I said, "So," because I said, "Man, I just gave you $60." And I'm like, "Dude, you were done with it in like what, 10 minutes?" I'm like, "Bro, is it really that easy?" He's like, "Yes, it's that easy." And I said, "Well, hey, I'm gonna find out how to do this." I said, because this I feel like he's just taking my money, like he's just robbing me. So when I actually went on YouTube and I looked up how to do an oil change and saw how easy it was, man, I wanted to kick my own ass. See when you just don't know something, it works against you for the lack of knowledge. Isn't that what God said? "My people perish from the lack of knowledge." They just don't know better. They just don't know. See, when you're outside of the loop and you got people that gatekeep this type of information, once you find out, it's almost, you wonder why they're gatekeeping. You wonder why they're not telling you how to do it. People will make money off your lack of knowledge. Or you don't know how to replace brake pads. Oh, they're gonna make $200 off you every time. Or you don't know how to replace brakes, calipers. Oh, I'm gonna always screw you over for $700. Give me $700, man. When you could do it yourself for less money. All it takes is a book, a video, a tutorial, and you go buy the parts. Whatever that mechanic, whatever parts he's using, go buy it. It's cheaper than $700 because they're just taking your money because you just simply don't know how to do it. Same thing with astrology. Makes sense, doesn't it? You can actually go you know what's crazy? I know someone that has a tarot deck, right? And they were showing me all these tarot cards. They didn't even know that I have a channel or anything. So I keep that a secret. And what ended up happening is she lays all the cards out. And there's a little pamphlet book that tells her what each card means and how to do the whole shenanigan. So I looked at it and I said, oh, so you just read the card and it just tells you, the little pamphlet just tells you what the card means and how to, center it and how to place it. And then she's like, yeah, it's easy. I said, so anybody could just buy the deck themselves and actually tell themselves, hey, what's happening, right? She was like, yeah, technically, yeah. But she said, but they don't know that. I'm like, see how deceptive, it's just like everything's a freak. Everything in this world is an illusion. It's an illusion. And you got all these people putting up facades like they know some shit. They're not psychic. They're playing off of your lack of knowledge. See? Now I know everybody out there might feel, I feel like a fool. Bro, you're not a fool. It's just that you just didn't know. See? Because you didn't question it. You didn't think for one moment, how are they doing this? And then you got to ask yourself, why is everybody doing this now? Okay, 4 years ago, there were like the same people that was doing like these type of videos, right? You want to know what's funny? Everybody has a channel about Pisces and all these signs. And you like, dude, who are these? Are these people really legit? Or did people just, or put it like this, people just realize that if he could do it, I could do it. Oh, if she could do it, I could get it. That's basically, it's like a trend. See? Because everybody's just trying to find a way to make money, so people just start gravitating to something that they may feel is easier to do. It might not even be related to passion. They might just have found a way that works for someone else. See? So you could have a YouTube channel about fixing cars, teaching people how to fix cars. See? But you got to know what you're doing, because the thing about it is, why I don't use tarot cards is because I'd rather give you guys my insights. And that's why I don't do readings. I do insights. See, from a Pisces perspective. So me being a Pisces, I give insights. See, now when it comes to the fact that a man doesn't like astrology, why? Because it makes him feel powerless. See, how do you think a man feels when he hears, oh, the Mercury retrograde? How do you think a man feels when he hears that? He feels powerless. He don't know nothing about that. And then especially if he hears, oh, the Mercury retrograde made you act that way, it makes a man feel small. It makes them feel like their free will is gone. See? You want to know what's crazy? when the whole eclipse situation happened, you saw how so many people was like literally in fear mode, because they didn't know, they felt powerless. They didn't know what the hell was going on, but they knew something was there. See, now the next thing is a man will fear accountability. See, why? Because an astrology, it mirrors the truth. See, it shows you things that you may not understand. See, so let's say we know a Sagittarius can lack tact. So if you pay attention, you will see that. See that, oh, this Sagittarius is not tactful at all. So there must be some truth to that. See, but everything is questionable. That's why you have so many different versions. And that's why you have so many different people with different channels basically projecting their perspective. See, you really can't say who's right and who's wrong. That's why so many people are doing it. Because so many people will just watch and listen and have no idea. You know what's crazy? A person can be playing an instrument in the middle of nowhere and have a cup that says, hey, donate 25 cents, for example. And he'll play that instrument and people will come and watch him play it. Have no idea what's happening, what type of song it is, doesn't even matter. Just because this guy is in the middle of nowhere playing the guitar, people will come up and just sit there, arms folded or not, and just spectate and just watch him and just listen. Then you might have a person that comes every day to listen to this guy. It's almost like he's booked. It's almost like he's hey, he doesn't have all the tours and all that type of thing, but hey, he's booked for the day. So let's go watch him. With that being said, people will sit there and listen to anything, whether it's the truth or not. We were, put it like this, when we were adolescents and we were kids, we were trained to listen, whether we liked it or not, right? Because we're in school. See? So when you're sitting there listening to something, how many books in kindergarten did you read that were not true? That was just based on nonfiction, just not even real. Goosebump books. I know I be stuttering because I be excited to talk. It is what it is. But what I'm saying is, like, people would read books like Goosebumps and Dr. Seuss books, and none of those stories were true. But we just read them because we had to, right? So that's what people buy books for. They like the story. They like the story behind it. So because it's interesting and it makes you think. So a lot of times, like, my grandmother likes to read books. So she'll buy all different types of books from, Barnes and Noble. And not for 1 second would anybody question her about the books. Why does she read the type of books that she gets? So it's like, that's just her thing, right? And that's the same thing that applies when you are listening to someone speak on their channel. See, you just like the type of things they talk about. So that's why I said everything's questionable. So some things you might be reading and it's not even, it might not even exist. But hey, some people, they listen to it. That's why I say be careful what you allow into your eye gate, because your eyes are what? The gates to your soul. And a lot of times people let stuff get too close to their spirit and they wonder why shit is not right in their lives. Now, when it comes to a man fearing accountability, which is the next one, as I said, astrology mirrors the truth. So there's no excuses. There's no hiding. See, so that feels uncomfortable for a man who avoids that introspection. See, now the next one, the fact that it reminds them of their ex. See, a lot of times a man starts to feel like, oh, well, yeah, my girl was a Gemini, and hell yeah, she had 2 personalities, because hey, Some days she would cook, and then hey, some days she wouldn't want to clean. So it's like you will see the whole duality situation happening right before your eyes. But a lot of men, they associate astrology with their exes, see, who used to call them out. And on top of that, they may have just completely just rejected it. See, you just like a Scorpio. See, you're stubborn and jealous and possessive. See, she's calling you out and you're like, no, I'm not like that. But you know good and hell well that she was telling the truth. Now, some men may think that it's manipulation. See, because what? Some men, they may assume that women use astrology to what? See, now, that's just like religion. People think the same thing. And then on top of that, see, that they put it like this. On top of that, they use that as a way to what? Sorry about that, you guys. There's sirens everywhere. But yeah, they're basically trying to use that to understand the connection that they have. Now, the next thing is the fact that they haven't felt seen without judgment. See, now, one thing about men when it comes to astrology is that they rarely experience spiritual conversations. See, and a lot of times they don't want to feel vulnerable. They don't want to open up. See, I tell you, that's one of the main things why men can't talk. They struggle with expression. See, they struggle painting, drawing, anything related to emotions, showing emotions. Because a man is what? Taught to what? Not show weakness, right? Which is terrible. It's terrible for a man to think that way. See? Because like for some, put it like this. If you show no weakness and you are tested or challenged in life and you don't know how to express yourself, then you're going to end up in jail or dead. See? Because pride is not there. Put it like this. People use pride to protect themselves from from looking weak, showing weakness. But you are supposed to feel your emotions as a human being. See? So that's why I'm smoking, because that distorts your thinking. And also your cognitive skills are affected. And you need your emotions because that's going to be your alert. That's going to be your alarm. See? And then if you don't have that compass, you're going to be in a situation where you don't know what to do. Because you don't know how to talk. You don't know how to express yourself. Because you're not a brick wall. You're not the Berlin brick wall. You're not Trump's wall. So, hey, you got to know how to open up and talk. See, now, when it comes to, as I said, astrology feels like an ambush to a man. See, and they don't look at it as insight. See, it's insight in this type of content I'm giving you guys is insight. And this is why I have videos where I give insight. So anybody that wants insight on something that they're going through, let me know in the emails. I'm always available. Hey, now there's a price to it, but I'm just saying I don't give readings, I give insights. Now, the thing about it is, and the reason why I say that is because, like, you can help somebody. You can really change someone's life by giving them insight on something, because you look at it with a different lens. See, they might be blinded. They might not see what you see in their situation. But by them sharing their story with you, you might actually be able to touch on things that they're not even aware of. See, like I was when it comes to people hidden enemies, Some people have no idea who are their hidden enemies and didn't even know they exist. They're hidden for a reason. They don't want you to see them. Now, getting back to this is the fact that in a situation, why men hate astrology is the fact they can't debate. They can't debate it easily. See? So they can't win a debate because they know nothing about the birth charts. They don't know anything. See, why do you think this happens? It's because astrology, what does it run off of? Where is it getting its fuel from? It's getting its fuel from the intuition. See? You have to use intuition. It has nothing to do with proof. See? Because why does it have nothing to do with proof? Because you're going to see it. We learn from our eyes. You're supposed to, because what does your eyes? Your eyes can deceive you. So we learn lessons, what to do and what not to do. We've been burned because we have looked into a situation and it wasn't what we thought it was. For why? And why was that? For a lack of understanding. You know why people stereotype others? You know why people don't get you? You know why people are quick to judge you and say, oh, I don't like the dude across the street. I don't like the neighbor. I don't like this person. Because they don't know how to talk to you. See, they don't know how to say hello. They're afraid to open up. They're afraid to shake your hand and look you in the eye and say, hey, how you doing? My name is such and such. But until you do that, they're gonna judge you left and right. Oh, look at that dude across the street. Look at that nigga. Look at him. Oh, I hate that son of a gun. All he does is sit in the house, stay on the porch, and sip cokes all day. Like, why does he ever come outside? Why does he never cut his grass? He always waits so long to cut his grass. They're cutting down on you 24/7 just because they haven't met you yet. See? People act different once they've met you. See? As soon as they meet you, all that hatred and all that bull crap goes out the window. Because now it's like, oh, we had a conversation. We connected. See? That's why I always say, when you work a new job, always establish yourself with the co-workers, the staff, whether you want to or not. Hey, good morning. My name is such and such. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. My name is such and such. Get established. Meet everybody. Meet the dude in the back room. Meet the delivery guy. Meet everybody, because these are going to be the people you're going to see every day. And people, to put it like this, if people don't know you and you've never done this, you never established yourself, you're going to become a target. People are going to say, oh, I don't like that dude right there. He hadn't said a word since he started. Maybe he's trying to take our jobs. We need to get rid of him. But because you introduce yourself, someone will have your back. See, it's all about making allies. I didn't say friends. I said allies. Because if someone met you and you were kind to them, guess what they're going to say? When people start harping on you and start, slandering your name, dragging your name in mud, Brenda's going to say, Billy Bob is actually a good person. He's really nice. I never seen him act that way towards me. He always says hello. See, now you got somebody on your side because you established yourself. See, how many more people will you have on your side by establishing yourself? It didn't say that everybody is going to like you, but I guarantee you have more on your side. See, even if you have 10 people that vouch for you and say, hey, he's a good guy, you wouldn't even have got those 10 without what? Establishing yourself. See? That's how you get the job. See, you have to have more likes than dislikes. Because even if you got 10 and versus 7, who's going to win? The 10. It's all about convincing, see? Convincing others. Even if, that's why I said, it doesn't matter if you don't want to, you have to. See? And you have to do it because why? In order to survive, to last, to stay. You don't have to be a meat rider, don't have to kiss ass, but you do have to what? connect with others. See? Because if you don't listen, I learned this 48 laws of power. I've learned this and it always works. Never outshine the master. See? You have to stroke someone's ego here and there. Don't have to kiss their ass. Just have to say, hey, you're good at what you do, man. Hey, I'm learning. I'm watching. See? But what am I doing? Communicating to you that, hey, you're doing your thing, man. It sends a signal to his head that, hey, he knows I'm the boss. See? So I will be the one that, hey, I'll be out of his way. He's not gonna come and target me because I know where I stand. See, I confirmed it. But if you start trying to outwork the boss, your ass is gonna get fired. That's what it is. It is what it is. Never outshine the master. And a lot of times, people may start a job and they don't realize that you should never try to work harder, faster than what you see happening within someone in that job. Once I remember being a dishwasher back in the day, and there was a dude named Alfredo. And Alfredo was fast at dishwashing. And when I got the job, I observed him working. And he was doing them real quick, putting them through. And it was like, I'm looking at like, damn, is that really the pace of the job? Or is he showing up? Or is he showing off? But then I realized one secret. It was projection. Cold-blooded, man. He was working fast so that I would think that I have to work at that pace so that he doesn't have to do anything. You got to be careful because there's people that think they're the boss and they're not the boss. They train you to work faster, harder, so that they can take a break. See? So what I did, the smartest thing I did was I washed the dishes and I let shit hit the floor. I didn't give a damn. See? I purposely dropped the dishes on the floor to cause a distraction. To make it look like I was fucking up so I can project onto him that I'm not on your timing. You can't control me. I could just drop this whole damn pan full of dishes and everybody has to stop and pick it up and pick up the slack. So when they say, oh, we don't want dishes dropping, hey, you go over there and start to what? I get assigned a different task. So now I get to take a break. Hey, instead of you washing today, you're going to dry the dishes. Oh, thank you. That's so much easier, sir. Thank you so much. I'm not going to put a smile on my face to show that, hey, that's what I wanted to do all along just because it was easier. But you have to strategize. You have to strategize. When people are projecting, see, you should be mirroring. See, okay. Don't move faster than what you see. Okay. If the whole environment's not moving fast or faster, don't fall for that. See? Because you're a human, you're not a robot. But yeah. Now, when it comes to the next thing is the fact that it drives a man's it drives a man's ego crazy when I'll put it like this. When you talk about astrology, they can't debate it. They can't do it. It's almost like, hey, they only can listen to it. It shakes their ego. See? And then when you start to describe the traits, and you are, put it like this. When you start to describe the traits of the signs, you know what's scary to a man regarding that? The accuracy of it. See? The accuracy of it all. Because why? It feels like exposure. See? Not many people can take the sun. When the sun shines, not everybody can sit there and just look at that and just, hey, the exposure can, hey, actually could damage them in such a way. See, now it feels like exposure, not enlightenment. See, so even if people want the sun out, there's some people that still put on what? They'll put on, sunglasses. They'll put on something to block the sun out. But they actually, put it like this, they actually want the light, but sometimes they just can't take it all. See, and that's the thing, because it drives them crazy at the same time as they actually like it. Now, that's the same way it applies to a man. Now, it challenges their religion or beliefs. Now, this is a big one, because some people see astrology as what? Conflicting, and it may be conflicting against your faith, even though it's just energy language. See, it's just energy language. People talk about philosophies. People talk about so many different books in the library. No one has read every single book in the library. Not even a librarian. There's books for everyone to read, but guess what? We're not gonna read them all. We're not gonna check out every single book in the library. There's books that have been on the shelves for years and they haven't been read. See? So that tells you that, hey, just because we're discussing astrology doesn't mean that we live by it. Doesn't mean that it means anything. It's just energy language. That's all it is. Some people overthink it. They think that, oh man, I can't talk about this. This is forbidden knowledge. No, it's just energy language, dude. This is no different than you grabbing a racket, going to play tennis for the day and go home. This is no different from the teacher putting on some type of story. Maybe class is having a storytelling lesson, or teaching for the day on a what do they call those things with the little projector, playing it back to you, and you're just sitting there just listening and watching it. If we really look at what can hurt you, there's so many things out there that can. See? There's so many things. You drink too much water, you can actually die from that. If you get, you can catch rabies. There's all different types of ways to get KO'd. And it's like, what about that? It's almost like you're not exempt from nothing. Nothing really matters. It's almost like, hey, it's just energy language. Now, when it comes to some men, they think that all of this astrology stuff is the same. See, and a lot of times this is why some men may revert to only knowing your sun sign, and they just go off for that. See, and you know how that would be if you only look at the sun sign. You're gonna be you don't go to the whole full chart. What are you doing? That's why men don't. That's why they don't want to hear it, because why? Them not knowing the full charts of it all, and just going off of the sun signs. What is this doing? This makes them think that it's fake or that it's vague, not enough information, because you don't know that you must know more information, not just the sun sign. Now the next thing is the fact that they hate feeling predictable. See, so you got to know astrology makes a man feel vulnerable, in other words, and they hate feeling what? As I said, predictable. Astrology categorizes, as I said before this live, it categorizes behavior. See, and men like to believe that they're different. Anytime you compare a man to something or a situation, he's gonna always get defensive and say, well, I'm different. Well, I'm not like that. Because he doesn't want to be exposed. He doesn't want to be found out. Now, when it comes to men with astrology, they fear emotional intimacy. That's why I say, like, how can you lack emotions but expect to be married to a woman? And you wonder why a lot of times these same type of men that hide their emotions, don't want to express anything, who do they end up being with? The backdoor bandit, see? So you end up getting backdoored by something because, hey, you're going to have to open up whether you try to hide or not. The choice is you just don't know who to. Because the diddler could be you the whole time. You activate the diddler, now you're going to be emotional to the diddler, but you can't be emotional to a woman just because you don't want to look weak. It's cold-blooded, man. And then on top of that, astrology can talk about what? Childhood wounds that you don't want to face, love styles, trauma, and inner desires. See, and topics that men avoid. One thing that a person will try to run from is you touching on topics that they don't want to get out. They don't want those secrets to be exposed. And they know if they come across someone that's very, let's say they come across someone that's very empathic, where a person could just know what you're doing, they might actually call out what they see and say, hey, I see you doing a lot of things with money right now. And yeah, your past hasn't always been the best, but you're going to get through it. But at the same time, you need to leave those 18-year-olds alone. See? And you might not want that to be even touched on or even brought up. See? So that's why men hate astrology. Now, when it comes to being roasted, some people are afraid of how others may look at them. Their best friends, their homies. So if they get to talking about zodiac signs, they may feel like, oh, this dude gonna think I'm a sucker or something. He gonna think I'm soft. And see, people gonna talk about you regardless if you're doing bad or good. So you can't even think like that. People gonna always talk about you. We're born into that. You could be rich and you're still gonna be talked about. You could be poor, you're still gonna be talked about. You could be doing real good and be talked about. You could be doing real bad and be talked about. It's never going to stop. So have tough skin and get used to it. Now, the next thing is that when it comes to those astrology memes, we all see them. Everybody has their version of what each sign looks like and acts like and behaves like. And on top of that, when it comes to the astrological memes, they often what? They drag certain signs, such as Gemini, Scorpio, Capricorn, men. What does it do? It feels like public humiliation. When you cut down on someone's sign and you start just flaming and spazzing out, some people feel attacked because you said, oh man, damn, this is what you really think about me? So when we cut down and we just we just having fun, you feel some type of way. Remember I said, those emotions are going to show. So why not just be, expressive and just let it go naturally instead of trying to hold it in? See? Because if you get backdoored and you try to hold it in, it ain't going to feel good. See? Hey, no diddy, man. No diddy. But hey, it was no other way I could say it. That's the best way I could say it. Now, so it's going to feel like public humiliation. Now, the next thing is that they don't think it's a trend, see? But what I meant to say is that they think it's a trend, see? They think it's a trend. They think it's something that will just come around and blow a different way. They think it'll just come and go. Now, what they fail to realize is that it's a tool. See, think about how many tools do you guys have in your garage, and you notice that every tool is for something different. You might not use all the tools in your toolbox, but you will take all your tools to go do a job because you just might need to use it. That's how astrology is. You just might need to use it, so use it as a tool, not a trend. And see, on top of that, Some men only see astrology through pop culture. You know, they don't see it on a psychological level. They don't see the spiritual wisdom behind it. See? And then on top of that, they secretly believe it. That's cold-blooded. They secretly believe it, but they just don't want to own up to it. Because why? They don't want you to know. You see, that's why I said projection, man. Projection is real. When people deny things, it's because they really agree. Secretly. They just don't want you to know. That's how you know that it's in the subconscious. You subconsciously believe it. But your conscious thinking can't understand it. See? So that's the war within yourself, is that, man, I really know this stuff. Hey, he has a point, but hey, I just don't understand it. I really don't know if it's true or not. I don't want to be wrong. See? So let me keep it a secret that, hey, I really know where this guy's coming from. I really believe what he's saying, but I just can't understand it. And I don't want to look like a fool. Hey, I don't want to look vulnerable, like I don't know anything. So hey, you're gonna just try to shove it and say, hell, you know, the hell with that stuff. I don't mess with that stuff. But then at 12 a.m., you're digging in your drawers and you're watching that astrology channel, and you're saying to yourself, oh, I want to know what Brenda's doing behind my back, because she's acting funny and I don't feel right. And you're like, hey, in the middle of the night, you're binging and watching what? You're watching zodiac signs. And you're trying to figure out, hey, why is Brenda acting funny? Because you realize that it's something different about Brenda. See, I don't know why I keep using the name Brenda, you guys, but it's just easier for me to say that. So then you start thinking like, hey, you secretly start to what? Believe it. Now, here's the thing. Deep down, you, my friend, you, my guy, you have checked your birth chart. You just ain't told nobody. So stop acting like you don't, oh man, I don't follow that stuff, man. This guy's full of shit. Hey, I don't believe in none of this stuff this dude's talking about. But hey, you're secretly checking your chart. And then on top of that, you just don't want to admit it. See? And on top of that, what is the lame excuse that a lot of men will say? Well, I'll tell you what, man, 95% of that is accurate, but 5% of it is bullshit. And you want to know what's funny? Isn't that the way the world is? We have what? What do we have? 75% of good, what? 50% of the world is evil, 50% of the world is good or has good intentions. And what? 5% is just, hey, they don't know what they want. Who's doing the calculations? We don't know. But at the same time, I just gave it to you guys raw that, hey, this is why men hate astrology. And I wanted to add one more thing. I'll say this. It's not that men, I would say this, it's not that men hate astrology, because they don't really hate astrology, you guys. What is really happening here is the fact that they hate being read by a Pisces who doesn't even need a damn chart. See, that's the truth in it. See, Team Pisces. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.